UK, completely legitimate for Ukraine to attack Russia territory.
Here's a summary of the article.
It is completely legitimate for Ukraine to attack Russian territory, a British defence minister has said, as Russia accused the NATO military alliance of waging a proxy war. James Heappey, the UK Armed Forces Minister, told Times Radio on Tuesday that Ukraine was justified in seeking to disrupt Russian supplies. In war, Ukraine needs to strike into its opponent's depth to attack its logistics lines, its fuel supplies, its ammunition depots, and that's part of it, he said. It is completely legitimate for Ukraine to be targeting in Russia's depth in order to disrupt the logistics, that if they weren't disrupted would directly contribute to death and carnage on Ukrainian soil. He added, Ukraine is targeting what I would say are completely legitimate targets to disrupt Russian logistics supplies, and they make those choices just as the Russians make choices to indiscriminately bomb Ukrainian towns and cities. The UK has donated a range of lethal aid to Ukraine over the 2 months since the conflict began, including armoured vehicles, drones and anti-tank weapons. Speaking to Sky News, the minister added, all of this noise from Moscow about somehow their attack on Ukraine being a response to NATO aggression is just utter nonsense.
This post received a score of 56,000, with an upvote ratio of 91%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Reminds me of these immortal words by Sir Arthur Bomber Harris, the Nazis entered this war under the rather childish delusion that they were going to bomb everybody else and nobody was going to bomb them.
Seems like we could use these exact words today. Time is a flat circle.
Greater than timeline? Time is not made out of lines. It is made out of circles. That is why clocks are round.
Greater than my name is Michael J. Caboose, and I hate babies.
Taka, Caboose. That's what I like about you. Everything falls into one of two categories. Either you don't understand it or you just don't care. Caboose. Yeah, I don't really know what you mean by that, but I guess it doesn't matter.
What's the difference between ignorance and apathy? I don't know and I don't care.
I think you'll find those are special spontaneous combustion operations.
Special you started it asshole operations.
Special Russian warship go fuck yourself operations.
Russian special education operations.
Response to Russian special fuck-around operation. Ukrainian tactical operation. Find out.
Nice. You made me laugh out loud, so many thanks.
How is this even controversial? The goal of all military strategy is to render the enemy unable, or unwilling, to continue the war. Whether you are the attacker or defender is a political circumstance which informs the goals of the war. But it does not change how war is conducted. At least not directly.
I'll go even further. Whether they call it a special military operation, or not, it is de facto war. Russia literally brought this on themselves with the outbreak of armed hostilities. This isn't a game. These are real Ukrainian soldiers on the ground and real Russian civilians who would die. The best outcome in any war is for the war to end as quickly, bloodless and lasting as possible.
I believe the proper phrasing is, it is completely legitimate for Ukraine to defend itself. If that means taking out supply depots used by Russia to further their invasion of Ukraine, then that's perfectly acceptable. Russia is the aggressor here, not Ukraine.
Best defense is a strong offense. Attacking Moscow would force Russian troops out of Ukraine to protect their capital.
Russia has a massive fuel depot just inside their border. Take that sucker out and make their already bad logistics that much worse.
Didn't they do that a few weeks ago?
Ukraine and Russia are both humongous territories. I'm sure there are plenty of fuel depots around.
To those suggesting this is warmongering, Russia started this completely unnecessary war. They could end it any time by retreating back to their borders. They chose to continue this fight, so they are the warmongers. They picked a fight they can't win and are too scared to admit this to their people, so are trying desperately to do everything they can to avoid admitting defeat. At the end of the day, they are not going to nuke any of us in NATO countries. We are not going to nuke them. They are just being a bunch of whiny babies because they haven't got their way.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.